He'll throw up a shot. Oh,
are you kidding me?
Geometrically, that should not have happened.
The Rockets and the Warriors went to war. OKC absolutely tore Memphis apart, while the Celtics and the Cavs both showed their depth against the Magic and the Heat. But we gotta start in Houston for the first grueling episode of what can turn into the best first round series of them all. And what better way to start the game than with this monster jam by Shengun over Draymond.
Especially in this building.
Green, Shengun!
Oh no!
That was nasty. On defense, the Rockets' entire game plan was to not let Curry shoot threes. They had a man glued to him at all times, face guarding him, not worrying about the rest of the players at all. And most of these possessions ended up as planned, with a miss.
Brooks is on Curry. Pajemski now has it. Green is on him. Moody, free, no. Butler. Green will put up a three. The close by Van Vleet.
On the rare occasion Steph got a little shooting window, he couldn't convert as he was clearly thrown off rhythm.
February trade. Curry, three, up, rebound, Green.
Dang, here's a clean look.
Moody set the screen. The missed three by Curry.
Curry started the game 0 for 3 from downtown, and the Rockets had an 8-point lead early on. But then something clicked in his mind and he tried a different approach. And it worked.
On top of that, Curry inside, scoops it home for two.
So worried about those cross screens.
Curry, number 3, and three-point shots made this season. He'll drive in for two here. He was averaging 14 a game. Curry sees an open lane. He'll scoop it up and put it in.
Steph put his head down and used his quickness to get past the first line of defense that was guarding him up close. Focused solely on his long-range shot, Houston was reminded how deadly of a finisher he's around the basket. At the start of the second, with Curry on the bench, the Warriors led by Butler cranked up their defense, forcing 3 turnovers in 2 minutes, which they turned into points on the other end. Unlike Steph, buddy Hield and Gui Santos didn't have problems shooting the three.
Hard drive, Butler. Santos in the corner. He has got, by the way, the highest plus-minus. Now Buddy Hield. He'll dance and he'll fire over Smith, and a 2 is down.
So when Curry got back into the game, Golden State had a 6-point lead, and he made sure to continue to build on that.
Cutting, Curry, layup in. What a pass! Timeout, Houston.
Steph in, out, and up on Van Vleet. What a shot for Steph Curry, who's got 10.
Meanwhile, Alperen Shengun was left all alone on the offensive end, scoring 8 points of the team's 13 in the period. Yeah, you heard that right. Houston managed to score only 13 points in the second quarter on a horrific 6 of 18 shooting. The Rockets' backcourt was especially miserable. Jalen Green and Fred VanVleet combined for 0 points on 0 for 8 from the field. Steph used that time to adjust his aim and finish the quarter in style.
Curry, 3, good!
And gets his first 3.
Curry, 3, from way outside.
Curry with 10 of his 31 points in the period puts his team up by 13 going into the break. And they came out of it even hotter than before to completely suck the air out of the arena.
He gets it inside to Curry. Nifty move as he wiggles his way, finagles it up for 2. Now Thompson has the primary defense on Butler. A series of fakes. And he gets the sweet mid-range shot to fall with some beautiful footwork. Thompson picks up Butler. It's a 3. Butler, book it! Jimmy Butler! That's right! He points at Reggie Miller and said, I'm doing my best impression of you.
Himmy steps up and bumps the Warriors' lead up to 20 with his 18th point of the game. But what the chef cooked on their next trip down the floor was just ridiculous.
Curry's got it. He and Butler, as I said, 18 apiece. He'll dance. He'll throw up a shot.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Geometrically, that should not have happened. Wow, what a shot!
Yeah, I have nothing to add to that commentary. And if it wasn't for Shengun pulling out tricks like this out of his pocket, I don't know what the Rockets were going to do offensively.
Green is on Shengun.
Shengun says, look, Jimmy Butler, Stephen Curry, you guys are all in my building.
On the other hand, when he gets it going, there's no stopping Steph. He's just merciless.
So can you win these minutes with Steph and Jimmy Butler still in there? Dylan Brooks, great defense. Curry, better offense. Wow.
However, they didn't know that this was going to be their last bucket of the quarter. Houston ramped up their defense and used Curry's absence, who sat down for 2 minutes, to go on a little run at the end of the third.
Another offensive rebound.
He is absolutely dominating on the offensive glass.
Van Vleet hard to the hole. 11-2 run by the Rockets. Here he goes high for Butler, knocked away by Eason. He swats it away. Nice defensive play. He's playing handball. Driving his sniff. Oh, they're on a roll.
The Rockets went on a 10-1 run to narrow the gap to 9 points going into the fourth, and they continued their effort to claw their way back into the game by playing solid defense and finding some rhythm offensively. But whenever they came close, Steph kept them at bay with some absurd bombs from deep.
No one's ever done it at the guard position, scoring like Curry at this age. But that time it was swatted away as he took it in with a shimmy. Thompson, and I'm down.
Besides Alpy, Houston doesn't really have a guy with a reliable go-to move in the half-court offense, and most of their buckets came late in the shot clock after draining every possibility of finding a decent look.
Amen Thompson swarm. Smith a three. Jabari Smith. Amen Thompson over Moody.
Back-to-back buckets now by Thompson.
The Rockets came as close as 4 points, but here comes Curry with another special.
It's a Curry three. Ring it up!
Oh my goodness, look at the range on this one. Unbelievable. On the other hand, Houston continued to struggle in finding consistency in their attack. Despite grabbing 22 offensive boards, shots just didn't fall for them. 6 of 29 from downtown, just 20%. That's atrocious. Now I gotta show you this moment of Kerr on the bench asking Butler and Curry are they okay.
How are you feeling? You don't need a minute, do you? Steph, you good? Dre? Alright.
I understand the question, they both played 40 minutes plus. And when Fred finally got his second three-pointer to drop out of 13 tries to get his team back to a 4-point margin, playoff Jimmy responded with a vintage performance in the clutch to close this game off.
Butler is there and up and all down it goes.
Does everything, all the dirty work.
He'll defend Butler. Shot clock is down to 2. Butler will can it.
Not one, but 2 closers on the same team.
Another turnover. Butler the other way.
Butler with the exclamation point at the end to round up an excellent all-around game with 25 points, 7 boards, 6 assists, and 5 steals on 53% efficiency. Great games for both Batman and Robin as the Dubs steal game 1 on the road. On the contrary, the Grizzlies experienced the total opposite in Oklahoma.
Best defensive team in the league this year in Oklahoma City. Jackson was open in the corner, missed the three. Edey, what a block by Holmgren. Dort hits the deck. Morant, tough shot, well defended Dort. Williams in the open floor, goes through the lane, puts it up and in.
A thunderous opening by the league's best team behind the roaring OKC crowd. But no one was ready for what's about to happen in the second quarter because
the scoop won't fall from Bane, tracked down by Wiggins, out to Wallace. Wallace attacking and slamming! Oh, Case and Wallace! Second chance opportunity, turnover by Bane. Williams, challenged, gets the layup against Pippen. Timeout.
Owned Memphis this year, 19 points a game in their 4 matchups, and right now, the Thunder just pouring it on.
Pippen lost his footing, no foul. Another transition opportunity. Showtime, Williams!
A 22-0 blitz gave the Thunder a 33-point lead with less than 17 minutes of action. This is insane. I haven't seen so much energy inside an arena in a while, and the lead just kept on growing to the point where it was looking like the Thunder were playing against a high school team. Finally, somebody hits a shot for the Grizzlies.
Oklahoma City with 14 threes and a 52-point lead. Oh, three-pointer from half court for Marvin Bagley.
Marvin Bagley III drains a huge half-court heave to cut the lead to just 49 points going into the final period. Amazing. Jokes aside, this turned out to be the most lopsided opening game in the playoffs history. Despite me thinking that the Thunder were going to have at least a 20-point lead in every one of the first round games, this 51-point humiliation exceeded all my expectations. And I thought that the Celtics were going to blow away the Magic easily, but Orlando's top dogs, Banchero and Wagner, seemed to disagree with me.
Wagner finds Banchero. Banchero, a contested three is good as the shot clock expires. Wagner does the same down the other end. Some sweet moves.
Paolo with 19 and Franz with 15 points respectively got to a surprising 1-point lead going into the break. mostly because Boston's top guns were struggling to find their groove. But in the second half, things got back in their place and quickly because
Derek White puts it in. Three-pointer for White, his fifth three-pointer. That's what Holiday does when he's in your presence. Holiday fires up and hits the three. Timeout, Orlando. Must be an awful experience to be guarded by Drew Holiday. Poked away by Porzingis. Good defense from Pritchard against the much taller Banchero. Alley-oop to Brown.
the Celtics showed their depth in the different ways they can go to win a game. Derek White was phenomenal in this game with 30 points on 7 of 12 shooting from distance. Leading by 16 early in the fourth, Celtics fans witnessed a scary sight when Jason Tatum went stumbling on the hardwood after a layup attempt. And look at Coach Mazzulla not letting his trainer go to help Jason, but yells "get up" instead. I like his mentality. Luckily, Tatum was okay as well. For the Magic, Banchero was left alone in the second half, scoring 17 of his team's 37 points total. That's way too little to try and combat Boston. At the end, it was a comfortable 17-point win for the Celtics. And the game between the Cavs and the Heat was unpredictably close in the final period, with Miami not willing to go down without a fight.
Adebayo, and he buries it.
But here comes Ty Jerome in the fourth quarter looking like young LeBron James against the 07 Pistons.
Tense right from the start. First ever playoff meeting between these two franchises. Jerome, he connects on another three-point check. Real danger zone here for Miami. Allen steamrolling to the rack. Who talks about their offensive prowess? Defense has been incredible, and speaking of which, Ty Jerome having himself a night.
Time and time again, Ty Jerome was hunting Tyler Hero in the pick and roll and took advantage of him. Hero did not have an answer for that whatsoever. Look at this. Even when he thought he stopped him, Ty just turns around and swishes it. And then the dagger to round up his electric performance.
Tyler Hero getting the switch. If Jerome knocks this down.
Are you kidding?
16 of Jerome's 28 points came within 6 minutes in the final period, boosting a 15-6 Cleveland run to blow the game open. A masterclass off the bench for Ty earns the Cavs a 1-0 lead. So there you have it. There was no video for the first playoff day because of Easter, but now we're back at it and going full steam all throughout the playoffs. So make sure to drop a like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Happy Easter everybody, and peace out.